Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gills, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure? It's cultist coffee. What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the office. It is great to have everyone here. Good morning. I hope that yesterday and this morning has been going well. I slept like a rock last night, so I have not been up all that long. But yesterday, I have been still plugging right along on the Tales of Rabavania script, and I've been very excited about that. So that means my creative output hasn't been something that I can share and stuff, which is a problem. But man, I got, like I said, on Sunday, I got the first 10 pages rewritten based on the notes I had received, and now got about 5 more pages. So I'm on about page 15 now or something like that. Not completely, polished and everything like that, but got to about pages 15 drafted, and then figured out where I need to go with a beat sheet, basic beat sheet, started to write down. Things have been flowing. Things have been good. So after it seems like all of my projects are just stopped up and have been for forever. So, I've been working on trying to get a story ready for Rabavania since, over a year now, and really discussing it and working on it since last August. So coming up on a year about really working with people and sharing the stories and trying to get it to work. Been through 4 iterations since then. So let's see all who's there. So that's been good, but I got to figure out. Also got to have some forward-facing stuff as well, stuff that I can get out to the world. I'm thinking about changing up some of the morning grind kind of topic, because I want this to be a great morning show for everyone in the Geekverse. I thought that yesterday was a great discussion on the Barbie movie, and actually this Friday, coming up with the idea of changing up the format. This Friday, we're actually going to have our first guest on the morning grind. Ordinarily, the guests come on for the evening table talk, which we do have a table talk tonight. Doug and I, 7 o'clock p.m. Tonight. I got to get the thumbnail ready, so I'll put that up after the morning grind. 7 o'clock p.m. tonight, Central Time. Doug and I are going to be taking a deep dive into Star Trek 4. If you haven't been with us for some of our deep dives into Star Trek, Doug and I have gone deep into all of the Star Trek movies in order. We started with Star Trek, the motion picture. We did 2, 3. We did, was it 5 hours of discussion and analysis of Star Trek 3? We did 4 hours on Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. Then we thought that Star Trek 3 was going to. There was no way that we were going to be able to do more than that. We thought, well, we'll be in and out of Star Trek 3, and then we tore it apart like we did with Barbie yesterday. People were asking, like, why are we going so deep? Well, you're overthinking things. No, that's what we do here, especially when we overthink things here, especially when it comes to story and story analysis. Because Doug is working on his own stories, and he's got his theory of the heroine's labyrinth, which is an alternative to the hero's journey, but it occurs, you mostly see in feminine characters. So we've talked about Doug's theory of the heroine's labyrinth quite a bit on Table Talk. You need to look that up if you're interested in storytelling and story analysis. On here, just search for Doug. Search for Doug. He was in the comments yesterday. Just search for Doug here on the channel. He's searching for a publisher right now for his book that explains the heroine's labyrinth story structure. And of course, as you can tell, we are very big on story structure here, and that's a large part of the direction of the analysis that we take. We're talking about story. So tonight we're going to be talking about story structure and what's going on with Star Trek 4 tonight, 7 o'clock p.m. Central. But then coming back to the idea of kind of changing up, maybe playing with the format of the morning grind some, we're going to have our first guest on the morning grind this Friday. Excuse me. Because agreed to come on the channel. She said she wanted to talk. I asked her if she would talk about Barbie with me, because she was the one. When she was talking to Cameron on Sunday, they were very positive about it, and I'm still very obviously it is connected with its audience very well and in a huge way. But from the story structure, when we broke this down, I didn't think it was all that great. I didn't think it was all that great a movie. And I think it was for structural issues, as we went over all yesterday. Fantastic conversation. But R often likes to talk about relationships, sex, and sexuality in movies. And so I specifically want to talk to her about the relationship between Barbie and Ken, because I thought it was I think it was a great one. But so she's going to be here on the morning grind this Friday. So we have a guest, our first guest ever on the morning grind. We're going to be talking about that this Friday. That's when she streams all the time. She streams all the time. She's on the Positive Fandom channel. So she can't come by like this Thursday to do Table Talk. So this Friday, she's going to be here, and we're going to be talking about the Barbie movie, particularly the sex and sexuality side, I am sure. So that'll be on Friday. And tomorrow, if I have time, I want to talk about, we got one of my pet hobby topics is aliens. We got some aliens. There's some alien stuff going on tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is when the congressional meeting about aliens starts or something like that. So might have to talk about that on the morning grind. So trying to become more expansive here. Although we do have a boxed set here. So talking about what's going on, stuff like that. I've had Zweihänder sitting here quite a while. Well, not a while, but a little while. So I want to open this up. We love box sets around here too. So I love box sets. We love tabletop games. We love board games, and particularly a sucker for RPGs that come in box sets. And so we've actually been studying a lot of box sets here. So we're going to be taking a look at Zweihänder this morning and seeing what is inside. I don't know anything about it. So let's see who is here this morning. Let's see. We've got Stray. Good morning, Stray. Good morning. Zweihänder, James says. Exciting. Oh, and it's pronounced Zweihänder before you even start the stream. Yes, now that one I know. Yes, that one. This is a good. Oh yes, Sable saying good German name here. The Zweihänder RPG. Oh, Lynn is going on vacation. Just a heads up, in a couple of days, I'm going to be on dropping off the radar for 2 weeks while I'm on vacation. I'll be back online the second week of August. Brianna is also going on another vacation. She's going camping. So she had to change up her work schedule, and I forgot that we had changed our meeting yesterday because I was really excited to talk to her about the revised first 10 pages of the Tales of Rabavania script. And then I missed our meeting because I was sitting there writing in my zone. But because we normally meet on Tuesdays because she's going on vacation too. So we won't see her for a little while. Good morning, Mike. Good morning. Good morning. So if I don't see me for a while, it's just that I'm not snubbing you. It's that I'll be off being woodsy and birdsy. Well, please go do that. Go do that. Never have to feel bad about missing a stream if you're off playing games with friends or family, or if you're on vacation or you're getting outside. Good morning, Zero the Blade and Brett. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much. Check out the Discord right here. That is the Ravenkeep Discord. I got to go through that again. Well, we have someone coming in from Twitch. Bush, good morning over there on Twitch. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Yep. Let's breathe and sip. Thank you for the reminder, Mike. So here we go. Everybody got your favorite beverage this morning? Let's inhale. 2 deep breaths, complete exhales, and then take a sip of your favorite beverage. So here we go. This is the mental health portion of the show. So everybody together. Some people aren't doing it. You need to do it. You need to do it. You'll feel better. You really will. Takes 10 seconds. And sip. Much better. All right. That's a good way to start the morning. Hey, Charlie and Dungeon Master. Good morning. Good morning. All right, let me fire up the auxiliary camera over here. There we go. All right. So, let me move my microphone. Oh, I got wires all over the place. And we'll go over here and we'll see what is inside. Does anybody have this one? Has anybody played this one? I noticed that Mark Tassin. Okay, I've got to ask Mark. I don't think he'll have a problem with it, but we are going to take a look at the Cool Name RPG. He was crowdfunded that one not too long ago and has been in development. And I got the playtest packet sent out to the backers. I don't think he will mind if we talk about it over here. But I will have to ask. All right. So, like I said, has anybody got this one? Oh, finally. Dungeon Master says, finally, Zweihänder. I've been excited about this game for a while. Well, I'm glad that we can finally be opening it. All right. Let's see what we got here. So it says, this box set is awesome. Okay, well, maybe they put together a good one. It's a good size. It is a good size for an RPG box set, and it's also heavy. There is a lot of weight to what's in here. We can compare that. If you just want a size comparison, basically it is the same size as the Introduction to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons box set. It's a little bit thinner. Yeah, I mean, it's a well. Not on camera. There we go. It's just slightly thinner, but man, it is a heavy box set. There must be a lot of stuff in here. This is comparable to here's the 5th edition D&D starter set. But so also that's basically the same size as the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons set. I realize most people don't have that one, but here's that one. But man, the difference in weight here, as we've talked about, there's basically nothing in these D&D starter sets. But Zweihänder, we got. All right, so let's see. So it does say Fantasy Horror RPG Starter Set. Everything you need to play in a beginner-friendly box set. Zweihänder is an award-winning cooperative storytelling game set in a medieval fantasy world. It teaches starting gamers how to create your own fantasy characters who will embark on adventures filled with intrigue, mystery, and supernatural horror. What's inside? 1 rule book for creating characters, 1 rule book for running the game, Secrets of Svanzai, feature-length adventure, 6 high-quality polyhedral dice, folding game master screen, folding art, poster, and village map, 13 character profession folios, 9 fortune and misfortune tokens, 18 sliding condition trackers. Oh, condition trackers. Interesting. Hey, good morning, Vision. Good to see you. 72 clue, injury, and spell cards. Okay. Where's something to open this with? How about the Orc Slayer? Where's my... Normally I have hobby knives sitting around here. There we go. Well, there we go. Let's see what is inside. Oh, I think I mentioned Mark earlier because I saw also on one of Mark's streams where he was doing the design blog for the Cool Name RPG. He had just said that he found Zweihänder, this box set, on sale. He might have got it at the same time I did. I don't know. I think I just got this off of Amazon. It was like he was excited about it too. So maybe Zweihänder is going around right now. All right. Oh man. This is a much heavier duty. Not that I talk about the material thing here, but this is actually not only is one of the reasons why I guess it's a heavier box is because this is actually a really thick box. This is thicker than the starter set boxes and things like that. That is a heavy duty box top. So they designed this so that it's not going anywhere. That's probably the thickest like box stock that I've unboxed yet. All right, we got you cut the shrink wrap. The value of the set just plummeted by 50%. Yeah. Even with things like action figures, I'm an open box collector. All right, so we got dice here. So we got 3d6. We got a special symbol on the dice. And it looks like it's taking the place of the 6. It is. We got 3d6 with a special symbol taking the place of the 6. We've got a percentile die. And then 2d10s. All right. Okay, Player's Guide, Zweihänder. We will take a look at that here in just a moment. So we got Player's Guide here. It's saddle. It's not saddle, it's stitched, but it's what are those called? Staple. Oh, it's a stapled book. Not like a perfect bound or something like that. Okay, so the weight in here is primarily because of all this stock here. Okay, paper and cardboard. I'm gonna put this up here so maybe it's easier to open. So it looks like we've got pre-generated characters. No, or maybe they're not pre-generated. Maybe they're just our character folios to make an adventure of that kind. Because I'm opening it up here and I don't actually see much filled in. It looks like you're supposed to fill it in. I'm a big fan of pre-generated characters so that you can just get playing. But this looks like a folio to create a certain type of character. We have Etherealist. Well, okay, there we go. Etherealist right here. Yeah, exactly. It looks like it looks like that. Looks like we have class specific sheets here. That's exactly what it looks like. So it looks like this is designed to create a character of that class. So etherealist, barber surgeon, bounty hunter, bravo, charlatan, chosen, gambler, investigator, jester, pugilist, reeve, sellsword, and smuggler. So, yeah, they do. Lynn says the art looks really nice. Yes. Does he have beards and hearts? The barber surgeon, Primo says. Barber surgeon. Beards and hearts. Well, he's got somebody's arm. So that's actually a lot. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 different character types. Yeah. So, okay. So pretty cool. So yes, I guess those are like the character classes. We have fortune points here. This is a card stock or a not cards. It's more than card stock. It's wait, I'm having trouble thinking this morning. Punch board. It's a punch board. Fortune points. We've got a woman and a skull on the other side. And then reversed on the other. Oh, so over here, the woman is up. The skull is down. Over here, skull is up. Woman is down. So we got misfortune points on this side. And fortune points on that side. Damage and peril tracker. This is interesting. So I guess this talked about sliding something along something. So it looks like maybe that's what you're supposed to. Is there a place to slide that along your character sheet? I don't see that. But all right. So I guess if you punch those out, you'd be able to put that over like a sheet of paper or something and slide up and down someplace. Okay, we've got moderate injury cards. This is just a moderate injury that we have. Moderate injury cards, which we've got to punch out. Fortune's Mercy. Chest wound. Gut buster. Bruised eye socket. Hyperextended elbow. Broken fingers. Fortune's Mercy. More moderate injuries. Are they the same? Nope. Scraped buttock. Okay, scraped buttock, twisted ankle, pierced throat, jammed toes, vicious haircut, misfortune. Serious injury cards. Does this come with a digital download? I don't know. James says you can get those fortune trackers as solid metal coins too. I have a few. Well made. Really cool to have coins at the table. Primo says, I think it's on the back of the first page of the sheet. Oh, that's where we're sliding? Oh, peril. Okay, so maybe we're tracking our peril. Peril condition track. Unhindered, imperiled, ignore first skill rank, ignore 2 skill ranks, ignore 3 skill ranks, incapacitated. Gain 6 corruption. You cannot make or succeed at any skill tests. Oh, and then over here, we also have damage condition track. So, okay, I think you're right. Thank you, Primo. So we're trying to maybe slide up and down along the peril track. And then over here, we have the damage condition track. So I bet those are what we're sliding up and down here. The damage condition track include unharmed, lightly wounded, Moderately wounded, 1d6 to see if you're injured. Seriously wounded, roll 2d6 to see if you're injured. Grievously wounded, roll 3d6 to see if you're injured. And then slain. Sacrifice 1 fate point to be alive to tell the tale. So, yes, thank you. Those are the light injuries. Sable Phoenix says, is this the same basic system as old school Zweihänder or a new edition? I don't know. Do we have a condition or a condition track? I don't see anything about an edition here. Maybe somebody else knows. Sable Phoenix says, I know that this game is very famous or infamous for being really specific about combat injuries. Yeah, and Lynn says, I get the impression that combat in this game is pretty deadly. So serious injuries, we got serious injuries too. So we got cards here for bashed skull, Fortune's Mercy, busted kneecap, cleft skull, devastated foot, hacked calf. As an example, with bashed skull, says gain 6 corruption. You are knocked prone. An ally must treat injury. Until fully recuperated, you cannot use special actions in combat. We have these are more serious injury cards: smashed groin, shredded muscle, shell shocked, rib wound, stab wound, misfortune. Draw from the grievous injury deck instead. Oh, here we have grievous injury. Fortune's Mercy, butchered shank, cerebral contusion, crushed toes, cut artery. So cut artery is gain 9 corruption. You are bleeding and knocked prone. An ally must perform surgery. If the surgery has failed or if 24 hours pass without undergoing surgery, you gain the bleeder drawback. If you already have this drawback, you are slain instead. Until fully recuperated, you suffer negative 9% in combat. Brain abscess. You gain 9 corruption. You are bleeding and knocked prone. An ally must perform surgery. If the surgery has failed, or if 24 hours passes without undergoing successful surgery, you gain the panic-stricken drawback. If you already have this drawback, you are slain instead. Until further recuperated, you suffer negative 9% on willpower. Grievous injuries again. Severed artery. Make an artery spray of blood marks your doom. You are instantly slain. Shattered orbit, pierced sternum, penetrated gut, destroyed digits, slashed nose. You gain the split-faced drawback. Okay, now we got spell cards. Dungeon Master says, remember, this reminds me of the Warhammer RPG combat wounds. And James says, this is a spiritual successor to Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Editions 1 and 2. Zweihänder continued forward with those rules when 3rd edition changed them. And I'm not familiar with those enough to know. Oh, I should change my camera angle over here. I got over here... I looked at this before I was doing live shows, but so there's some videos on it. I have the Warhammer Fantasy starter set. I'm not sure what edition this is, though. It doesn't say on its front. Well, it goes with this one. So I have no idea what edition I've got over here. Somebody in the chat will probably recognize it. Whoa, what did I hit? Oh, sorry about that. All right. Bane Sun says this is the newest version of the game. It's different in various ways from the original book. Yes, do hit the like button. Sounds great. Yes, please do hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. That would be great. Frederick says you should review the free Zelda game Into the Wild. Is that an RPG? I don't know anything about the video game. If you have Zweihänder, you will like it better than Warhammer Fantasy. Really? Hey, Trey. I remember, in fact, we need to do another like live stream one day on that Warhammer Fantasy box, because I remember liking the things that it was doing with combat and things like that. It's been a while since I've looked at it, but I remember liking what it was doing. So we got a bunch of spell cards here too, a bunch of spell cards. Animism's Musk, Anoint Weapon, Astromancy's Alacrity, Bewitched, Kank-Handed Grasp, Dispel Magic, Custodian's Dying Breath, Conjure Elementalism, Candlelight, Divination of the Demiurge, Fracture of the Crouching One, God Emperor's Blessing, Hearth's Helper, Haunting, Hat Trick, Hasten Speed, Leviathan's Courage, Indomitable Spirit, Hush, Invoke Fury, Learner's Insight. Magic Missile. Oh, we got Magic Missile here. Palms of Pyromancy, Necromancer's Fancy, Necromancer's Revival, Morticism's Salve, Magic Missile. Said that one. Martyr's Grace. Sanctuary, Robert's Misery. Robber's Misery. Rainshade, Pinprick. Shut-Eye. Shadowmancy's Hidden Message. Like, friend, what is that? It says, distance one book or pages you touch. Reagents, ink, poured onto the ground, expended. Duration forever. After successfully casting, you change the writing in a book or pages to look as if you were completely different from how it was originally written initially. Designate allies or foes equal to your WB. You can name, and only you and they can read the original writing. Oh, so you're disguising the original writing. Everybody else reads this new stuff. Affect W3 times 3 WB allies or foes instead on a critical success. Failure, the book or pages are instantly incinerated. Warding, Vow of Fealty, Trackless Step, Sorcery's Witchstone. So what is that? One stone you touch. Dirty rag wrapped around the stone, placed beneath a floorboard, and it's expended. Those are the reagents. Distance one stone you touch. Reagents, dirty rag wrapped around a stone, placed beneath a floorboard. Duration 3 plus WB days. Effect. After successfully casting, you create a witch stone. Once buried, all food and water that comes within an explosion template are contaminated, and those who imbibe it cannot gain sustenance from it. If the witch stone isn't placed within an hour or is removed from the floorboards, the spell ends. Once the duration ends, the witch stone is destroyed. As above, but effect and critical success, but it goes out to a mile. Critical failure, you suffer 3d10 plus 3 physical peril. Robert's Misery only works on opponents named Bob. Trey says, my group was playing Warhammer Fantasy around the same time as Ars Magica, and I remember it was about it was the main, and all I remember about it was mainly a D100 for rolls, and I played the Rat Catcher as my first PC. Frederick asked, did you have a small but vicious dog? Is that in here? Or am I misunderstanding? So Will-O-the-Wisp, Winter King's Warmth, and Witch Sight. Clue cards. Oh, okay. So we got Bloody Footprints. Is it the same? Yeah, it looks like the same. Conclave Nephilim statue. Chapter House Nephilim statue. Bloody Boot Prints. Clue cards. We got a Severed Finger here. Fancy Ring. Hidden Journal. Bloodstained Note. Vohal Nephilim statue. Leather brown grimoire. Piece of gray thread. Looks like coming off of somebody's dead hand or something. Poster? Let's see. Yep, that's what it looks like. It's printed on some pretty heavy stock. So we do have a Zweihänder poster over here. Got another poster-sized, I think, poster-sized map here. Looks like what it is. Okay. Over here, yep. Large poster-sized map. Again, printed on very heavy stock here. So that's been a consistent physical feature of everything in here. So the West Shore, docks and drawbridge, the River Basque, Slumber Inn, Constable Office. What's on the back? Oh, more stuff on the back here. Oh, it might be the same map, but this one doesn't have the place names on it. So it looks like the same map. Yeah, it is. Looks like same map, but no place names on this side. No toponyms on this side. Lynn says it sounds like it strives to deliver on its grim and perilous promise. It really does. Clarabelle map. We got the same kind of thing here. Yeah, okay. So we've got one side without our labels and one side with. Well, we're just labeling starboard, bow, port, stern, and spice crates. The full tankard. I think I saw the full tankard on that other map. Oh, Frederick says there is the incomplete game, Small but Vicious Dog. That is treasure in grimdark communities for its essays on the grimdark setting. Used to be required reading for noobs into grimdark. Oh. I am not familiar with that. Full tankard map. Well, maybe this is different. Well, those look basically the same. Dockyards drawbridge map. Okay, we saw the drawbridge. So I guess these are the zoomed in maps of some of the places that we saw on that large map, because this drawbridge was definitely on that map. Dockyards drawbridge map. Oh, there's the Clarabelle. So that's that ship. Oh, well, here we got a stray dog. We got a stray dog down here. Is that close enough? East Shore, West Shore. Okay, no labels on that side. Vohal Manor map. Chapter House of the Martyr map. Slumber Inn map. Fulci Conclave map. Lair of the Muse map. Oh, it looks like a creature. Stairs to the Chapter House of the Martyr. We've got the head here. It looks like some bones. The right arm, the left leg, the body. Must be the GM screen. James says these materials are fantastic. Yeah, they are fantastic. Okay, so we got the GM screen with art on this side. So here's all the art that everybody likes. So all these different, okay, let me put it down here. So all these characters that we've got. a whole bunch of Zweihänder-like characters. Pretty cool and evocative. So inside, we've got things like difficulty rating, dispositions, skill names, and related attributes to skills. Combat conditions. Combat conditions include bleeding, blinded, choked, defenseless, disarmed, engaged, hastened, helpless, high cover, incapacitated, infection, inspired, intimidated, low cover, medium cover, outnumbered, prone, stunned, suffocating, surprised, total cover, or unconscious. Lighting effects, perfect light, fleeting shadows, total darkness. Obscurement. We got currency right down here for brass penny, silver shillings, and golden crown. Movement actions, movement subtypes, attack actions, perilous stunts, special actions, fortunes and misfortunes, healing damage and bleeding, healing injuries and infections. So like healing damage and bleeding, healing practice use laudanum, heals damage, bind wounds, heals damage, stem bleeding, heals damage. Use tincture, suppresses injury, treat injury, heals moderate and serious injuries, perform surgery, heals grievous injuries, bloodletting, heals infection. Healing peril and suffocation. Healing practice use smelling salts, heals peril, sleep heals peril, kiss of life heals suffocation. So here's some information on our fortune and misfortune things here. Immediately roll D100, re-roll to generate a better result, but accept the outcome of the new die roll. Immediately after you have immediately after you roll a D100, re-roll to generate a better result, but accept the outcome of the new dice roll. Immediately after you or anyone rolls 1d6 chaos dice or 1d6 fury dice, treat the result as if it were a phase 6. During combat encounters, gain 1 action point to immediately use. Suggest a momentary edit to a situation for the player's advantage or the GM's disadvantage. Yes, definitely high production values. James says, I don't have the starter set, just the core book, player book, and main gouge. Ultra premium materials and productions are all around. Trey says, I do remember that one of the things that we liked about Warhammer Fantasy was that it was crunchier than D&D, but not as crunchy as Hackmaster. Okay, Game Master Secrets. So, Game Master Secrets, Zweihänder. So another stapled book here. This might be the adventure book then. And then down here, we got Zweihänder. More fantasy horror adventures await. Create grim characters, write perilous adventures, and build your own low fantasy and dark fantasy campaigns. No matter the skill level, the Emmy award-winning line. So how do you? So now we got pronunciation. I always say I'd always said any with that. Is that not what I'm supposed to say? The ENNIE, the Emmy award-winning line. I think somebody said something about that. Maybe it was that I had said N world and I was supposed to say EN world or something, but this is the ENNIE, right? Okay, award-winning line is great for beginners and experts alike. All you'll need is a few friends, pencils, and a handful of dice. Main gouge, chaos supplements for GMs and players. Core rulebook, an all-in-one game for GM and players. So the main gouge, that's the chaos supplement for GMs and players. Entire player's handbook, strictly for players. Oh, so the core rulebook is an all-in-one game for the game master and player. The player's handbook is strictly for players. I see quite a bit of that now. Hey, Robert. Yeah, so I think EN stood for Eric Noah, if I recall correctly. So yeah, it may have been. So it may be EN World because of his initials. Although I think it's fairly common to just say N World, but I think it's also the NE. So we'll just have to see. So main gouge is the chaos supplement for GMs and players, but it's not uncommon. I see that quite a bit now to separate the have a book with everything for the GM and then a book just for the players. I see that in several places now. Although, like Lou did that with his Thrones and Bones setting. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's the way I was pronouncing it, like the Emmys, except for so instead of an Emmy, an Ennie. So wait, is that what I was saying? Now I'm confused. The Ennie award-winning line. Yeah, instead of the Emmy award-winning line, the Ennie award-winning line. Yeah. Good morning, PH. Except for the thing that Lou was saying when he was separating when he had like the core rule book and then just pulled out a player's handbook. So there were no like game master secrets or any world building items or stuff like that. It was just the player stuff. He said that people would give the player's guide bad reviews because like, it's all just the player's information. And like, that's what it says. This is the player's information for the core book. So the players won't have access to any kind of GM secrets or things like that. And everybody's like, there's no new material in here. He was like, well, of course, that's what I said. There's no new material because the game master has everything. And just what the players need is extracted over here. Bring your adventure online. Play Zweihänder on Roll20. Download your free. Well, there is something digital here. Download your free digital version of the Zweihänder starter kit on Roll20 and build your fantasy horror campaigns on your own virtual tabletop. Sign up to play with friends anywhere with minimal setup and zero cleanup. A dark world of fantasy and horror awaits. Okay, so you can get Roll20 stuff here. Let me see. How are we doing on time? Okay. So this is the Game Master Secrets, and we don't want any spoilers here, but we just want to see what's inside here. So looking at our table of contents, okay, we do have stuff about running the game here. So running the game, your responsibilities, narrative themes, handling the session, handling skill tests, handling social interactions, handling combat, handling disease, handling chaos modifications, handling divine retributions, handling corruption, handling horror. And then the secrets of Zvanzi. And that must be our game, our game here. Session 0, content warnings, running the game. So that's our adventure. Expanded bestiary and appendices. So there is some stuff before we get into like the game itself, like handling combat. It says a large part of your responsibility as the GM is to impress situations upon the players, sometimes using subtlety and sometimes outright violence. Here are some tips on how to make combat easier for yourself. Tracking enemies. Combat conditions such as being stunned or suffering injuries need to be accounted for and applied to foes that the PCs fight. Many require upkeep, such as remembering to resist the stunned condition on their own turns, whereas others are countdowns like bleeding to death. Feel free to share any combat conditions foes suffer and call out their damage conditions track as they get hurt. When using miniature figures, you can easily track damage conditions by using bottle cap rings found in your grocery store. Put a ring over each miniature for every step they move down the condition damage track negatively. So, for example, if they are moderately wounded, they'd have 2 rings over their figure, one for lightly wounded and another for moderately wounded. When not to track injuries. Tracking injuries for enemy combatants can slow down the game. Instead of recording injuries, simply allow a player to kill lesser foes whenever an injury occurs. Be careful considering the implications when using this option for more powerful enemies. Your big bad shouldn't suddenly go down with a lucky hit. Ending combat early. Whenever a series of bad rolls, formidable opponents, or poor tactics, combat can sometimes drag out. If you and the players aren't having fun or it gets boring, bring the scene to a close. Let the next attack be the killing blow against an enemy the PCs are fighting. Have the foes rout or give up. Take time after the session to assess what may have gone wrong. Share those insights with the players and make adjustments. So we also have disease, handling disease, black death, eruptive pox, hot snakes. Okay, so that's what's inside that box. Okay, we looked at the Game Master's screen. We got a whole bunch of maps here. And then our posters. I like the idea of this, like the artistic poster in here. But also seems like that could be something that could be sold separately, rolled up. Because if you're really into it, I mean, at a time I would have hung this kind of stuff like up in my bedroom or the game playing room or something like that. And if you were really into it, you'd want one that was not folded. Trey says, James says, it's 100% the Warhammer Fantasy with the serials filed off. You heard correctly. I'm a sucker for a new rule book, which is at least a part of the reason I own it. But if you prefer the Games Workshop lore and location. Oh, James says, if you prefer the Games Workshop lore and locations, there's no real reason to buy this. It's just Warhammer with the paint stripped. But EN World is pronounced, okay, so I think I'd said N World. So EN World, they are still pronouncing EN World. Okay, thank you. Got it. Just to make it more confusing. Yeah, I think I had gone with N World because it was the Ennies. Now we know. Love the art. Yeah, could get it for the art. Yeah, boring combat. What's going on here? Lynn says, I love a good combat, but hate for the long combat slog. Oh, interesting. Looking at it on Drive-Thru RPG, Trey says, when you get the PDF, there's a phone format version and a standard A5 version. Okay, cards. I want to go and look at the main book. So all of our spell cards. I don't think it matters the order, but this way they're going back in the box as they came out. Serious injuries. Fortune points. Okay, and then here are all of our characters on top. So I guess looking at a character sheet in a bit more detail, what do we actually have here as far as our character sheet goes? My name is full name. I have made my life as a blank profession. Oh, this is like building out like up here. This is like a Mad Lib. My name is enter full name. And I have made my life as a profession, blank profession. I am a age, gender, ancestry, and come from a enter upbringing in the social class. I am a stature with a build and a complexion. I have blank hair, blank eyes, and some kind of distinguishing mark. I was born in season of birth, and my dooming is something. My chaos alignment is, we've got chaos ranks and order ranks. So we're tracking corruption from chaos and order. My order alignment is something else. Drawbacks, fate points, peril threshold. I see WB here again. WB is willpower. WB is willpower, not WP. Maybe that's willpower bonus or something like that. So 3 plus willpower is my peril threshold. Skills, skill rank plus 10, primary attributes. So my primary attributes are agility, brawn, combat, fellowship, intelligence, perception, and willpower. Difficulty ratings, trivial is plus 30%, easy is plus 20%, routine plus 10%, standard plus 0%, challenging negative 10%, hard negative 20%, or arduous negative 30%. We've got weapons and shields, skill to hit, handling, low, distance, damage, qualities. Armor, damage threshold, modifier, qualities. Initiative, movement, damage threshold. Talents and traits. Trappings and reagents, encumbrance limit. Cash. And then on the back, we've got movement actions such as charge, get up, hustle, maneuver, run, take cover. Attack actions, called shot, cast magic, melee attack, ranged attack. Perilous stunts, chokehold, dirty tricks, disarm, stunning blow, sunder, takedown. Special actions include interact, load, take aim, wait, words as weapons. Reactions include assist, channel power, counterspell, opportunity attack, parry or dodge, or resist. Yeah, it would be fun to fill out as a Mad Lib. Oh, I wonder if we that would be fun if we could cast that out to the audience, to everybody watching. I don't have a way to fill out a Mad Lib online. Okay, with multiple people. So we got the player's guide here. Contents include welcome to Zweihänder. Playing the game, creating characters, buying trappings, combat and healing, and casting magic. So it says, Chapter 1, Welcome to Zweihänder. Zweihänder is a cooperative storytelling game set in a medieval fantasy world. It's a place of gallows humor, intrigue, and mystery, supernatural horror, and vendettas melted with gunpowder, iron, and sorcery. This starter kit is an evolution of the original game, providing new and veteran gamers with all the tools needed for adventuring in the world of horror. Okay, a morally gray world. This game magnifies the brutality, cumpence. I don't know if I ever pronounced that before either. And superstition of the dark fantasy genre. Furthermore, this isn't a game that rests upon the traditional axioms of good versus evil. It's one cast in many shades of gray between rare extremes of black and white. This world is where the upright perishes and the unjust lingers. Society stands on the edge of both existential and literal collapse. Order tends to prevail over outright chaos, but at the cost of bloody sacrifices. While a brighter tomorrow exists, it's only for a select few. An ever-present shadow influences all, enticing its victims with promises of wealth, political gain, and damning power in exchange for their very souls. Let's see. Vast realms of humanity stretch across the known world. They have been dominated through expansionism and endless cycles of war. Dwarves, elves, ogres, and the like are few and far between, dwindling since the Dawn Age. These ancestries are usually unusual and extraordinary, treated with an abundance of caution by human society due to a pervasive fear of the unknown. These pariah often band together with other outcast humans to become adventurers, but they aren't wide-eyed neophytes destined for greatness, nor are they godlike warriors capable of slaying dragons. Instead, adventurers are survivors, ordinary people put in unusual situations who are fighting for their convictions. Their personalities and professions are numerous and as varied as the stars in the vault of night. But remarkably, adventurers have been chosen by fate and brought together for a higher purpose. Interesting. Trey says, I believe this type of character sheet was from back when the thought process was all the info the character should ever need to use for play was kept on the character sheet. I remember that as the crunch in a game when they tried to keep up even the character roll rules on the sheet if they could, to keep the rules hunting during game to a minimum, I guess. Welcome to Zweihänder, where it is always raining and women are trying to remove your eye. Superstition reigns supreme. People's perceptions of the supernatural world around them are just as crucial as the diseases that ravage the countryside. But unfortunately, the three social classes that dominate traditional human society are compelled by an ever-present fear of the unknown. Magic and heresy. Ordinary people have no understanding of the inner workings of magic. Those who call themselves priests or wizards are often venal charlatans consumed by vainglory. Although the gods are distant and uncaring, their fickle gifts are sometimes bestowed upon a vexing few. These priest-like chosen are cursed as much as they are gifted, for the miracles are regarded with skepticism. For those the gods reject are called etherealists. Arcanists who steal their power from places called the ethereal veil. So Zweihänder isn't a game of 0 to hero, but of 0 to 1. This is not a game about heroes and happy endings, only people trying to survive. The choices you make for your adventurer won't have rippling, world-spanning implications. Instead, it'll change the way that your characters evolve through their personality traits and their corruption systems. Low fantasy and high stakes. Monsters aren't the only danger found in this game. People are too. A village of peasants can readily drag a knight off their horse and beat them to a bloody pulp. In this game, there is no remedy to reattach an arm hacked off by a peasant's sickle, no godly boon to wipe away the shock of a friend being torn apart, no prayers that can bring back the dead from the well of souls. In Zweihänder, your health doesn't miraculously recover overnight. When someone is stabbed, shot, or set on fire, it requires prolonged periods of recovery. Disease and infection are genuine threats. Real people have to eat. They get sick. Must take time to care for wounds and some trauma, both physical and psychological, is just too deep to mend. In violence and compassion. In a fantasy world, horror world, death means something, but mercy and sacrifice are more meaningful. Adventurers are the only ones who can stand against the disillusionment, pessimism, and depravity that threaten society. Given these considerations, it's easy to believe that nihilistic principles guides the adventurer's journey. While not heroes in a traditional sense, they are willing to put their lives on the line for this greater good. Adventurers may be hopeful and tenacious, but they are very mortal and fragile. So, yes. So this is Zweihänder. So we do have, let's see, reading this book, final considerations. Let's do a couple more pages here and then see what this is about. Then we might have to actually get into how to play Zweihänder on another day one day. So conflict and entropy. Self-realization is as much of the story as is prevailing the harsh truths of the world. Adventurers will uncover profound mysteries, reveal double dealings, and expose wickedness at its very core. Will they rise above the brutality or root around in its filth, becoming the very thing they hate? This conflict is at the heart of every Zweihänder adventure. It manifests as corruption, a key thematic element and mechanic of this game. All right, let's find out about corruption over here. Corruption exists as something between a mimetic idea and actual enervating energy. It spreads through selfishness and misguided decisions and exposure to supernatural phenomenon. Corruption plays the long game, whispering into people's ears when they are vulnerable. It misleads priests to false idols when turning even-handed rulers into unbridled despots. Corruption's greatest pleasure, however, is when it can steer an adventurer toward its most ignoble, vile self. So here and now, despite entropic grasps, corruption is as vital to the development of an adventurer as dystopian order is to the story. It drives many of the underlying themes of Zweihänder. It also promotes a concrete reason for adventurers to band together and rage against the dying of the light. But hope is often a pale glimmer, and every significant victory is just a tiny blip on the timeline of reality. Don't let this discourage you, though. What the adventurer does now matters the most. Inner conflict and affiliations. Adventurers must thrust themselves into horror situations that will test their resolve. Every trial gradually erodes their very foundation of who they are while desensitizing them to the same circumstances. Too many brushes with gray decision-making and terrifying monsters affect an adventurer's capacity for clear, rational thought. To survive the darkness, adventurers must adapt to surrender to it, give way to mental, physical, and mutative afflictions. So, all right. That's what Zweihänder is. It says that Zweihänder is easy to learn but hard to master. It uses an intuitive roll-under D100 system with rich complexity to support the game's themes. However, combat is deadlier than in your standard RPG experience, so be sure to lean into creative problem-solving before drawing swords and pistols. Veteran players will already be familiar with some of the starter kit. However, the rules are presented more concisely with new improved mechanics and supplemental options. This means the books are 100% compatible with the current game line. Unlike board games, the only win condition in Zweihänder is to have a good time. Together, you'll go on perilous adventures. Your player characters will win hearts and minds by being bold in the face of danger. They'll face many hardships, and some may meet a gruesome end. But it is their stories they will tell. But it is the stories you will tell and the memories and you and your friends will share that will define how you win Zweihänder. Zweihänder awaits, and the fate of your tale hangs in the balance. We can't wait to hear how it turns out. Please share your experiences on Discord. So they have a Discord server as well. And then we get into how to play, actually, and what this is about. So we may check that out, but it looks like on another morning grind, we'll have to actually come back and find out how to play Zweihänder specifically. Stray says, it's crazy to see a BBEG and realize they used to be like you and realize that's where you're heading. Ah, yeah. And Lynn says, win hearts and minds, lose limbs. It's a trade-off. Well, that's pretty cool. I am glad that I picked this up. This is definitely, it seems like a high-quality box set. Maybe I will eventually get to make a box set myself one day. Looks pretty cool. So we will have to figure out how to play. And we might also get into the Warhammer game again on a live stream. All right. I really appreciate everybody being here with me today. I have had a great time. I hope everyone goes forth and does a lot with today. I have got a lot to do, including taking some notes on Star Trek 4. So please, if you want to hang out and you want to talk about Star Trek 4, we'll be taking a deep dive. That is The Voyage Home. Doug and I will be doing that from the storytelling perspective tonight at 7:00 p.m. Central Time. So we'll be doing that. We'll love to have you join us. I'll put out that thumbnail. Actually, I'll make up that thumbnail right now. So it's available and out there. So you can click the follow button and all of that, or notify me. And then tomorrow we might, I don't know what we'll talk about. We might talk about surveillance if I can come up with stuff. Straight Sable says, do the moral thing and like the stream. Thank you, Sable. So everybody, please go have fun, be creative, be constructive, and grind on. I'll see you tonight.